Whoa, 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 whoa. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. Thought sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave those kids alone. You guys know the rest. It goes, hey, teacher, leave them kids alone. And all in all, you're just another brick in the wall. All right. Thought we'd start today with a little Pink Floyd rundown. That's kind of the theme. Leave those kids alone. We don't need no education as far as public school education is concerned. I don't think anyone needs any of it. How the hell are you doing out there, YouTube? Is everyone looking good and feeling good today? All right. Took a little week to myself. Haven't streamed in a week, so I figured it was time I get back to work. Good to see my mods in chat. Rose, Faith, Oofmatic. Also got a Planewalker, Chungus Khan, Andy's in the house. Michaelis V. Pink Floyd was a good start. Thanks, buddy. Chris Topher, Inhuman Ways. Fusion Density. Just to name a few. All right, so to get started, as you can see, it's not hard to figure out what the bulk of this stream's going to be about. You can read the title, you can see the thumbnail, and already you're like, ew! Exactly, this one should give you the willies. If you think that eating bugs sounds like a good idea, well, I'm here to tell you it's not a good idea, and I think you've been brainwashed effectively. So we're going to get into some of my issues with this whole eating bugs thing, and just to show you guys how popular it is, because it is quite popular. And so I just typed in cricket powder into the old Google machine. And so let me show you what happens when you type in cricket powder to the Google machine. All right. Google searching cricket powder, and there you have it. Right? So this is what comes up. And so there's a bunch of companies selling ground up crickets, man. This might be news to some of you. Some of you say this is old news. I've known about this. I just want to show you the plethora of different companies. So it's not just like a few fringe companies. This isn't just something that they do in China or something like that. This is something that's being normalized right before our very eyes. And you can see all the different companies here. Like this is just right at the top of the page. And one that caught my eye immediately was this one right here. It says, edible insects bag of mixed edible bugs. Mixed bugs. Look at this. It's mixed bugs. Grasshoppers, crickets, silkworms, and sago worms. Look at that. Mixed bugs. I wanted cricket powder, and already I'm seeing they just straight up sell mixed bugs, man. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'd say that's crazy. So how would you even know what bugs you're really getting? You know what I mean? It says you're getting a mixed bugs. So it's like, I don't like regular cricket powder. Nah. I like a plethora of different bugs. It's much more tasty and you get much more nutrients and minerals. So I like the bag of mixed bugs. It's like, how do you know that they don't slip like cockroaches in there? You know? How do you know like there's not like some rat turds in there. Like, how do you know? If you're grinding up mixed bugs, it's like, where's the quality control? Is there anyone to regulate this? Is there anyone to regulate any of this? Right? Like, does anyone go to these factories regularly and check and make sure that it's what they say is in there? Cricket protein powder, organic, non-GMO. Really? So you're catching them out in the wild? I'm pretty sure you're farming them. You know what I mean? And so my thing is what if there's even like 10% cockroach powder? So if there's even like 10% cockroach powder, then I don't even want it. In fact, I don't even want it as cricket powder. Like I said, you can grind up damn near anything and sell it online. And if you look into the supplement business, as far as just vitamins and supplements, it's damn near unregulated. You can grind up anything into a powder and sell it as anything and say it does anything. And what are the chances that they're going to come after you or these companies? So I think it's funny that like I can just scroll through here and see like a light brown powder, a dark brown powder, and all these different powders that just look different, and it's like, oh, that's all cricket? Looks to me like there's quite a discrepancy of cricket powder. And how do you really know what you're getting, man? That's just freaky to me. So even if you want to try cricket powder, it's like, man, you really got to trust that that's what it is. I'd suggest if you really want to do it, you should catch and grind up your own crickets. I do. If you're going to try cricket powder, I don't recommend that you buy any of these because you might be getting ground up cockroaches. You might be getting a 50-50 mix of ground up cockroaches and dog turds. How would you know? Are you testing it? Who's testing it? And so my thing is if they can convince people that insect powders are environmentally friendly, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're pushing a lot of propaganda that these insect powders are environmentally friendly and they're a healthy alternative to beef, and cows, you know, are wrecking the world with their farts. Cows are causing global warming with their farts, man. Right? When cows fart, causes global warming. So we can get rid of the cows and their farts if you just start eating crickets, man. If you just eat some crickets. Oh, another thing, the cows, man, they drink so much water. The cows drink so much water. Cows are always just eating hay and drinking water, and then it costs, and then all the water to grow the hay and the corn. Turns out cows like to eat GMO corn. Did you know that? It's true. They don't even like grass anymore. Cows don't want to eat grass anymore. Cows want to eat GMO corn, man. And all the water to grow all that GMO corn. You know what would be better and more environmentally friendly, and it would help reverse global warming? If you and your kids just munch on some bugs. See where they go with this? See where they're going? Is anyone following me? It's good for the environment. It's eco-friendly. Cows are bad for the environment because they fart. And their farts put holes in the ozone layer, which lets in heat. It's like icebergs melting because of all the cow farts. And you know the quickest way to start turning it all around? Eat some bugs, bro. That's what they want to do. All right, PJCnet, sorry I missed your first super chat to get us going. It says, getting you started, they're desperately trying to normalize eating bugs, but targeting children is a whole new level of sick. Hey, what do you expect? They got to get you when you're young. You're not going to convince me to eat bug powder. No. But a child who you can get to maybe in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, a lot easier of a target, right? In fact, I can show you guys a clip of a public school who brought in one of these bug companies, and they brought in like the CEO of the bug company or the head sales guy to basically solicit and pitch his product to the kids, and he handed out samples of bugs. So I'll show you guys that clip here in a minute. So imagine sending your kid off to public school and some CEO of a company is allowed to show up and give his bugs to your children, you know, and your kids come home with packets of bugs. Look what I got to eat today. Lovely, lovely. So thank you, PJ CNET, for the donation. I appreciate that, buddy. All right. Am I coming in nice and clear out there? For the donation, I appreciate that, buddy. All right. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up this clip. Viewer discretion is advised, folks. And by that, I mean you're totally going to want to watch this, but it's totally going to piss you off and gross you out at the same time. And that's why I'm here to bring you the truth, man. All right. So I actually found this one, this clip through Richie from Boston, believe it or not. But he's not going to make the same points as me. He's not going to take it as far into depth as I'm going to take it. He's not going to make all the same connection as I'm going to make. But I did take this clip from a Richie from Boston video. But we're not going to have Richie play. We're just going to take the clip. So I found this one out on the shoot, on the BITCHUTE. And away we go.
You've never eaten a cricket before? No? You tried. Where do you find a cricket tea? So there's this company right here in Manitoba. They're called Prairie Cricket Farms. And what they do is they farm crickets and they put them in nice little bags, and then you can eat the crickets. You feel brave enough. And one time maybe we'll be able to eat it.
Okay, so this is what I was telling you guys. So the school, right, has these kids, first off, they're all muzzled up, right? They all got their ritualistic facial diapers on, right? But the school's going to let them remove their muzzles. They're going to give them a treat, some bugs to eat, and they're going to allow the kids to remove their muzzles, while this guy from a company, a bug company, is going to come in and pitch the product straight to the children. Don't you love how the public schools are allowing this guy to come in and pitch bugs straight to the children? And of course the teacher's like, children, we have a very special man coming in. We want you to give him all your attention. He's going to give you a special treat to eat, children. Wow, that's a much easier target than, let's say, me, right? Much easier target than, let's say, you. Got to get them while they're young. Got to get them while they're young. All right, you guys ready to see this madness? All right, let me mute back up. And away we go.
What flavor you got? I have no idea. I'm so clear, but it tastes good.
How was it? Was it good?
Okay, so isn't that just a bit disturbing that they're going to let the sustainable protein guy, cricket guy, come in and pitch the product straight to the kids, right? So those are some easy targets right there. And then the kids go home like, Mommy, look, I got roasted garlic crickets at school today. Yeah, and I ate them and it was yummy. Did you know it helps reverse global warming? And you know, of course, the parents are probably going to be like, oh, that's wonderful. They taste good? Here, let me try one. Meanwhile, there's like guys like me who are like, hey, you know what? You can actually have cows eat grass, and then when they eat that grass, you move them so they can eat more grass, and you let that grass grow back. There's plenty of land. Cows don't need to take up as much water as they currently do because they don't need to be eating GMO corn. Cows can totally eat grass. All you have to do is just keep moving them and let the grass grow back. And when the cows shit, The grass grows back. Basically what I'm getting at is grass-fed beef is 10,000 times better for you than eating bugs. And I don't need any science to prove that other than the elites aren't eating bugs. Let's just take a bet. Do you guys think that the elites are eating bugs? Do you think that the Rothschilds love the earth so much that they're sitting around eating bugs? God knows what they really eat, right? Between the world's best grass-fed beef and, I don't know, babies, they definitely are not eating these bugs. So you have to ask yourself, if the ones who set this world up, the ones who rigged this game in the first place, are they the ones eating this? No, they're not. But they want you to eat this. And it's obvious because we just saw a clip there of them passing around the bugs, and we just went to Google and looked up the bug powder, and there's 10 billion bug powder companies already. So it won't be long before they start slipping this stuff into your food, right? Our food, I should say. If it's not in there already. And like I said, it's not just crickets, man. How do you know you're not getting 50-50 crickets and cockroaches? How do you know you're not getting at least 10% cockroaches? How do you know? And I was texting one of my mods earlier, Faith, letting her know I was going to do a live stream. I'm like, how do you know it's not ground up dog turds? Have you ever looked at the drug and supplement market, like online? You know, like you can order South American echinacea. It's South American echinacea plant, and it helps with mental clarity. And you're like, oh yeah, I want that. And you get these gel caps that have like a ground up powder, and you think that that's what it is. It's like, who's really regulating any of this shit? So when it comes to bugs, I'm extra creeped out, man. Right? So even if I wanted to try crickets, I would feel like I would need to like rustle up my own crickets to feel confident enough that I'm getting pure cricket, man. So if you are wanting to try cricket powder, just saying, you don't really know what you're getting from these companies, and I don't know if they offer a test kit for you to test your cricket powder. Make sure that you're getting 100% authentic cricket powder that doesn't contain cockroaches or other unwanted bugs, like, you know, like ground up black widows, right? How can eating a cricket sound good to you, but then eating a black widow is gross? Like, dude, how do you know that you're not getting a little bit of black widow mixed in with your crickets? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You guys following me? Who's following along? Am I making sense? Oh, shit. Was I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay. Looked like I was muted for a second. All right. Steve DeCipio says, shrimp, crab, and lobster are bugs too. Sounds like something some shill would say trying to get me to eat bugs, bro. It's not going to work. I don't believe that the bugs in the ocean are the same thing as those little shitty bugs on the ground. Cockroaches are just gross, man. I don't care what anyone says. And if you like them so much, then you go farm them and eat them, all right? Here on my channel, I'm allowed to have my own opinion, and it is my opinion that cockroaches are icky and gross, and I don't want to eat them. Nor do I want to eat any other bugs, all right? I've made it this far without eating bugs, and I'm as smart as I am without eating the bugs, and healthy as I am without eating the bugs, that I don't want to start anytime soon. Plus, like I said, when you're eating powders, there's just so much potential to mix in filler. So I think once a company realizes it's cheap and effective enough that they can mix in other things, you know, like I said, just like if you could just mix in all different sorts of random bugs and shit and people don't know the difference or complain, you know, why wouldn't you? And of course, there's going to be knockoff brands that are more likely to do that. I just don't like it in any way, shape, or form, anyone trying to get rid of the meat, I think is a bad idea. Get people to eat bugs. Aurora Dawn says, hit the like button, people. Yes, if you guys are enjoying this stream, and I got more for you. In fact, I got something even more crazy than what I just showed you, and we'll take this thing to a more serious level here in a moment. But first, hit those like buttons if you can, or like button, I should say, and pump this thing up for me. Right now we have 69. Well, we did. Now we already bumped it to 71. Keep that thing going. Bust it all the way up. Let's try to bust 100 right now. Come on, guys. Do it for Al Gore and his rhythms, please. It's important to Al Gore's rhythm that we bust the thumbs up to show YouTube that we're hip and we're cool, right? Show YouTube and Al Gore and all his rhythms that we like have so many thumbs up because we're so awesome. That's a good reason why. All right. We're on 88 thumbs up. Come on, guys, let's get there. And we'll go ahead and queue up this next video. Actually, I think I need to make a couple points real quick in this video before I move on. All right. So they passed around these samples in the classroom, and they allowed the children to remove their muzzles and eat these bugs. And what they're doing, since they're getting to them so young, is they're normalizing eating bugs. And they're training the kids that this is something good for the environment, and they're tasty. And this man came in your school, and the teacher was totally on board with it. And so it seems like all the other kids are doing it, like it's a good idea. So it basically normalizes it in the child's mind at a very young age. And there's very few kids in there that are going to take a stand in that situation and be like, no, I'm not eating them. Screw you guys. If you guys want to eat bugs, go ahead. I'm not doing it. It would take a very hard-headed kid and a smart kid to in that situation, in that environment, stand on his own 2 feet and say, I'm not going to do this. And so what they're doing is they're not only brainwashing a kid, they're brain damaging a kid. They can convince a kid that eating meat is bad, eating bugs good, because global warming, the environment, yada, yada, yada. All right, so what they're also doing is they're doing drills in school now. We're going to go ahead and transition into the next topic here. So this is just one nasty thing going on in public schools, right? And you're going to see more of this. But something that's been going on for years now. They've been training kids for years and normalizing, and it's even more serious than this, a lot more serious, in fact. They're doing active pow pow, bang bang drills in schools. And they've been doing this for years. So now what we have is several years worth of children who have been brainwashed and brain damaged into believing that they could likely end up in a scenario of an active bang bang pow pow situation. And you know what I mean by bang bang pow pow, right? All right. So we'll go ahead and show you guys what, if you send your children off to public school, what sort of drills you're likely to have your kids being a part of while you're at work.
Good morning. Here in this classroom, we're going to see in just a few moments what it's like to go through an active shooter drill. I'm in the 4th grade classroom of Miss Stephanie Thornton. In just a moment, she is going to take her class through this active shooter drill. It's something that sadly they've all become accustomed to. Many of these kids have been going through drills like this since kindergarten, but their parents have never actually seen one. The drill will begin when the principal, Christy Fields, makes an announcement, and I want to remind our audience again that this is only a drill. After the drill is finished, we're going to talk to the kids, we're going to talk to the parents and the staff.
Alert, alert. Boys and girls, this is a drill. Please lock and secure your classrooms at this time. We are pretending there is an intruder coming into the office. Please lock and secure your classrooms.
All right, boys and girls, we need to lock the door. Boys, I need you to clear this table. Make sure you have something in your hand to bring with you. All right, hold on. Hold on, girls, sorry. Put some chairs up there. Okay, quick. All right, make sure you have something in your hands to protect yourself. All right, let's go. After that's good. All right, boys and girls, we've blocked the door. Now you should have something in your hands to defend you. There's no reason to be alarmed. I'm going to be right here to help protect you. Now we just need to sit quietly and wait for further direction. All right, I'm going to let the office know that we're all here and ready. All right.
Now, tell me this ain't brain damage. Brainwash? No, that's brain damage. So you get to these kids as early as possible. So if a kindergartner starts out with this, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, by the time they enter high school, they've done this drill how many times? In my high school days, we would like once a year have to walk out into the field for a fire drill. And then when I was a kid, maybe once a year, they told us to get under our desk in grade school because of the earthquake drill. Which those were ridiculous too. So like I was, let's say in high school, not long ago, so only about 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago, the kids, were walking out of the classroom and into the field for a fire drill. Get under your desk for earthquake drill. But now, this here, I never had to do this when I was a kid. And if you're my age or older, you never had to do this when you were a kid. So look what they are enforcing now. And what they're doing is yeah, you saw that too. It said something to protect myself. I got a number 2 pencil. Make sure you have a weapon, children. I got my science book right here, Mrs. Thomas. I'm ready to hit the bad guy. I brought my Lunchable. I'm going to throw my Lunchable at its face, Mrs. Thomas. So, yeah. So basically, if you get to a kid early enough, there's no way that kid's going to grow up and think that this is all bullshit and that these situations are all fake. They're going to be like thinking that this must happen often because they have to do these drills and because their parents talk about seeing it on the news, right? So if you go through these drills all throughout your entire childhood, how could you not be brain damaged? PKOSB says, oh my God, this is freaking sad. It is. It is. I just want to show people, I don't have children, but at the same time, I'm glad I don't have to worry about bringing them up in this environment. So one of the awesome things about not having children is you don't have to worry about sending them to public prison camp. And, I know not everybody can figure out how to raise a kid at home and homeschool them and make enough money to get by at the same time. It's a rough world out there, and you got to do what you got to do to survive. But I just want to show people that if you send your kid to one of these public schools, that this is the type of stuff that they're in for, all right? And so how are you going to unbrainwash them when they get home after they did a drill like this?
Okay. So let's talk to some of the students about how this all makes them feel. Lila, you know that this is important. I know that your mom has spoken to you. Let me get in here real close to you. I know that your mom has spoken to you about why this is important. What did she tell you?
She told me that it's not, like, good that this will happen at all.
Yeah.
And that the staff is going to take care of it good.
Yeah. Who here is scared when they go through these drills? Elijah, why are you scared?
I'm scared because if something actually really happens, it could hurt me or any one of my friends.
Yeah. Samara, do you feel safe when you conduct these drills?
Yes, because if somebody were to actually come in here, we would be safe because we know everything to do.
So you feel a little better in doing them?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to talk to some of the parents. They're here. Many of them have never actually seen these drills happen. Arlene is here. Arlene, you've got several kids in the school district. Your son Gabriel is sitting right here. This is the first time you've ever seen this.
Yeah, as watching this, I felt very emotional, seeing what their real reality is day to day. And but I also feel some reassurance knowing that the school is very prepared and they do the drills, and it really seemed like the kids knew exactly what to do.
Yeah. Lisa, we just spoke to your daughter, Lila. You are a teacher here. You conduct these drills. But watching Lila go through it, how does that make you feel?
It's very emotional.
I saw you crying a little.
Yeah.
As you were witnessing.
Just knowing that this is her reality, this is our nation's students' reality, and that we have to have these discussions of why we're doing this.
And Lila understands why?
Now she does. She did not understand when we began talking about it, and now she does understand the importance of it, the seriousness of it, and
of course, this situation here could be just all set up and acted out, but know that these drills are going on in schools, all right? So this is basically getting people used to the idea that this is something you need to prepare for, because it happens a lot, right? There's all those crazies out there going a bang bang and a pow pow and going after the children, right? I remember one time in high school, we all had to go stand out at the football field, maybe twice. I had to go stand out in the football field because someone called in a bomb. They called in a bomb. So we all had to go sit out in the high school football stadium, just like sit there for like an hour or two. And I remember thinking, like, the school's not going to blow up. Nobody even was worried that the school might blow up. So I remember once somebody made a call, allegedly, and then we all had to go stand around and sit around at the high school football stadium for a few hours. So when I look at this scenario now, what they're doing, it's a whole level of evil. Like, they have stepped up the evil notch quite a bit since back when I was in a public prison school. So my experience in public prison school is a lot different than what I see happening today. So I feel for anyone who has kids who's trying to be a parent in this crazy world. Dr. E. Vale says retarded teachers. You almost gotta be to be a teacher in the first place. Anyone who gets into that business, you're going to teach kids false information. You're going to knowingly, if you know that history as we're taught, is bullshit, and mainstream science is bullshit, how are you going to teach children that man walked on the moon? How are you going to teach children that the earth is a spinning ball in outer space? How can you do that and look yourself in the mirror? And so anyone who gets involved with education, to me, has to be, and plus the pay level sucks. So it's just the very minimum. Like they aren't paid shit, and they teach bullshit. So yeah, you have to almost be retarded to be a teacher. I'm sorry if anyone here is a teacher. Riseable Reality said, I ain't having a kid unless I got my own farm and rich as fuck. Laughed my ass off. Yeah, I agree, man. I need all that stuff too. Oh yeah, and a suitable mate to reproduce with, which is damn near impossible to find these days because women have been corrupted, and it's by design. So basically now you have like this whole plethora of men who don't want to get married and don't want to be with today's women, and then you have a bunch of women who are batshit crazy who post a bunch of cringe on TikTok and take off their clothes on OnlyFans, and it's all by design. And it's damn near impossible, for anyone to find a suitable mate and fall in love and have a traditional family and a strong family unit with all the shit that the government's doing to destroy all that. They want to actively destroy not only the family unit, but your chance, your opportunity at creating a strong family unit, right? So if you do have a family, there's propaganda actively out to destroy your family. Don't believe me? Just watch. All right, and those of you joining us late, I notice now we're up over 200 viewers. So those of you joining us late, we started off with kids being given packets of bugs. So I'll just quickly rehashed it if you missed the first part, but you should go back and watch it if you missed it. But basically they had a salesman come in. I showed a clip where they have a salesman come in, handed out free samples of bugs to children. And so they're trying to normalize kids eating bugs. And so right after the kids, eat their bugs, then of course they partake in an active bang, bang, pow, pow drill, right? You might have this happen on the same day in public school. So this is just some of the ways that they're brainwashing and brain damaging the youth, which is, our future. That sounds cliche. The children are our future. Well, if you keep bringing up a bunch of tards who believe that somebody could burst through the door and shoot you at any moment, and you're munching on bugs as your school lunch, and then you go home to a liberal set of parents who watch mainstream television and put the kid in a muzzle, the kid has no chance, man. The kid has no future. And it's sad. It's sad, and it's bad. But at any rate, I digress. Dr. Bass Ackwards says, don't ever give up on making babies. If you put it in God's hands, it will happen. That's not how babies are made. Bro, I don't know if you know where babies come from, but you don't put it in God's hands. You put your wee-wee in her hoo-hoo, and then you shoot the don't you know? Duh. I mean, everybody knows that. All right, we're joking around here. It's a comedy show. Everything that happens here is all for entertainment purposes and comedy. You do what you will with this information. Andy says, yeah, what up with those horny female teachers? I don't know, man. I never had any like that when I was young. And plus, if I did, they wouldn't want me, right? Because I was a loudmouth class clown. So they wouldn't have wanted to be with me. One of those rapey teachers. No. They would have wanted some other kid who was cool and wore a backwards hat or some shit. I don't know. I was making shit up. The comments are weird. I was looking for comments that, like, you know, agree with me or bring something to the table, and it's like you guys are like talking about other stuff, or the comments are like not relating. Okay, here's a good one. Schools mostly indoctrination and forcing agenda. Some now will graduate even though they cannot read or do simple math. That's the least of their problems, man. They just don't teach anything of use in public school as far as like, or dealing with the real world, right? There should be like, you know, some course on like how rough and tough the real world is going to be if you don't have your shit together. And, yeah, we don't get taught a proper street education in school by any means. Maria said they want us dumb. Very basically put, that is the theme, man. They want you to be dumb, right? The elites want to laugh at you while you're munching on ground up bug powder, right? Thinking that you're helping save global warming, reverse global warming by eating some bugs. They want you afraid that some crazy wacko could come bursting in the door at any moment and just start firing. Man, they want you believing that you are spinning on a space pear that is shooting through the galaxy while rotating around the sun at unfathomable speeds, man. And you can't feel any of it because of that magical thing we call gravity. Yeah, I'd say they want us dumb, and they got us dumb. Most of us, anyway. Not all of us, but most of us. Most everybody is pretty dumb. Dyslexic said, dumb, confused, and obedient. I would agree with all that. All right. So check this out, guys. I looked into the science, right? You guys already know it's going to be a joke, but anyway, here we go. I totally looked into the science, man, and I don't know if you guys know what the science says, but I do. And the science says, hold on, where's it at? Cricket powder, there it is. The science says that cricket powder, right, is a good source of protein, and it uses less water and resources, and it's more environmentally friendly than cows, right? So the science that I looked into also shows, and you can find proof of this, it's science, the cockroaches actually have double the amount of protein, nearly double, all right? Cockroaches have nearly double the amount of protein as crickets. The science doesn't lie. So basically, eating cockroaches is double as effective at reversing global warming than eating just regular crickets alone. So if you want to reverse global warming like at double the rate, you know, as a regular cricket eater, you should definitely switch over to eating cockroaches. They have like more protein and they're more environmentally friendly. They use less water, more protein, right? And you would achieve mental clarity, right? Now, how many sheeple would believe that if it was on the news? If it was on the news, how many sheeple would believe what I just said? Fucking all of them. That's how many. All of them. You tell the sheeple eating crickets is better than eating beef for the environment, and they're like, all right, I guess I gotta start eating bugs now. And then you're like, and totally, cockroaches are the best, right? So then you can be like, New York City has an infestation problem. There's an infestation in New York City of cockroaches. So if you guys want to help get rid of the infestation and reverse global warming at the same time, to kill two birds, one stone, then why don't you buy some of this genuine, organic New York City cockroach powder? Jake's genuine, organic New York City cockroach powder. It helps fix the cockroach infestation in New York City. So that's cool. And it also is environmentally friendly. Right? Braxton Hayes says, cockroaches are probably better than almonds. I don't know, man. You got to try them to figure it out. Personally, yeah, almonds aren't really good for you. It's just like another scam, you know, seeds, beans, any sort of seeds, just generally not good for you. I don't care what anyone says. That's what I believe. And so they want to get rid of like milk by like saying you should drink almond milk. And it's like milk has actual animal fat in it, and it's easily in the easily digestible form for most people. Whereas like raw milk, I should say, and they'll say, oh no, you should drink almond milk. It's like it's not even milk. Almonds don't have titties. Show me the titties on the almonds, and then maybe we'll start calling it milk. But since there's no titties on almonds, you can't crush up some almonds and mix it with water and call it milk. Stay Clint says Jake's cock powder. It helps reverse global warming. That's my marketing phrase. If you guys are having fun, smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are enjoying it. Sukjit Dami says, almond tits. Yes, almond tits indeed. Meow Lenian says, do you still eat a lot of raw meat? I go through like spurts where I do, and then like I'll stop for a while and eat like hamburgers and make stew and cook steaks on the barbecue. So I still like the taste of cooked meat, and I still, when I'm out, you know, and about, like if I'm out, let's say at a casino doing advantage gambling, like there's times where I'll just order a burger at the cafe, or you know, or get Chinese food or whatever. I'll just order whatever. So I don't always stick to a certain diet or regimen, because I feel like no matter what you do, they're going to get their poison in your food some way or another. You know, unless you like have your own cows and your own chickens and your own garden and all the stuff, and you know where all your food comes from. It's almost impossible to enjoy yourself and live life when you're trying to like constantly avoid all these ingredients. So I recommend, you know, you should try and avoid eating too much GMO shit, but at the same time I realize in today's environment that we live in, it's damn near impossible to like really know what the hell you're eating, regardless of what the label says, you know. So one thing about raw meat and meat in general is you can look at it and basically know what you're getting. So a powder, like ground up crickets, for example, how do you know if you're getting ground up cockroach or crickets or a mix of the two? 92% cricket and then 8% mixed bugs. So how do you know? Whereas at least if you have a decent cut of beef, you can pretty much know that that's what you're getting. So that's like a big long answer, but so yes, I still do eat raw meat. In fact, I have a piece right here. So it's funny that you mentioned that. That's not a knife, that's a knife. Anyway, I actually had a piece right here that I was cutting up earlier. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I just so happen to have a piece right here. Oh, and suddenly my dog just perked up. He's like, oh, Jake broke out the meat. So I'll give him this little hunk of fat right here. Here, Rusty. So, at least with meat, you know what you're getting, you know? Right? So if you buy a New York steak, you can pretty much be sure that you're getting a New York steak, right? I know some people can't handle eating raw meat, but I would suggest you just try, you know, a bite of like a New York steak or a filet mignon or a ribeye. Just cut a little piece and just try a bite. Tell me what you think. You won't get sick. You won't die. I promise. Basically, you'll chew it a few times and you'll go, oh, yeah, that's pretty much what I figured that would taste like in my brain once I got rid of the bullshit. Once you start chewing on it, it's like, oh yeah, it's beef. Duh. All right. Doggies like it too. Doggies like it too. Come on, Roosty Roo. Come on. Get over it. Ugh. There he is. See? Yeah. Yep, making a rusty appearance. Charles Phillips' says raw steak is fine. I haven't had any problems with it. Never once. I've even left it out overnight and then cut it up, and it was like even better tasting because it like had like it dried out a bit on top and it had like a slight beef jerky thing going on. So if you look at beef jerky, that's just like cheap shitty meat that they dried out. And so if you just like let your steak sit on a plate for 12 hours, 24 hours, room temperature, and then you come back, you'd think, oh, it's bad now, or it's like gone bad since then. Like, no, actually, like it'll start to kind of dry out on top. And so you'll end up with like this slight beef jerkiness around the edge of your steak. It's actually quite nice. Corey D asked about raw chicken. I actually don't like the consistency of slimy raw chicken. It's like a consistency thing that I don't like. So I actually prefer overcooked chicken. I like my chicken to be like falling apart. I don't like any slimy consistency. It's just a personal preference thing too. I've seen plenty of people eat raw chicken in videos, and I tried once this organic breast meat, and I just don't like the consistency. So it was fine. I didn't die, but I wouldn't recommend that you go get cheap-ass grocery store fillets out of the bargain bin and just eat a shitload of it. I wouldn't quite recommend that. So use caution when you're going to eat some meat. Make sure it smells fresh. And then there are people who like to eat meat that's sit in a jar and rotted, and I don't go that far. So there's people who eat what they call high meat. They'll put meat liver, innards, whatever, in a jar and let it rot, and then they'll eat it. And they claim it makes them feel great and gives them a high. And personally, I think that's like overkill. I don't need to go that far, and I don't really like the smell of rotting meat. But there's a whole bunch of people out there who like to eat rotten organs and rotten meat and prefer it that way over regular raw. So just goes to show you all the crazy things out there you might think are unhealthy or bad for you that people have been eating for many years, more years than they've been eating fast food, crazy grain concoctions and bread and almonds and almond milk and all this shit. So if you look at the history of man, people were killing animals and then drying out the meat, preserving the meat, barbecuing the meat, and finding all these different ways to keep the meat and eat the meat as long as they can. And so throughout the years, they learned that, you know, eating some raw meat and rotten meat and this type of way to dry out the meat so that it stays edible for longer. So people have actually been eating meat a lot longer than they've been eating all this poisonous fast food. And so as we're seeing the sample size grow of the people eating more and more fast food, we're seeing people are fatter, weaker, more diseased. All right. So ultimately, I would suggest that you don't eat ground up bugs and that you definitely try to find some fresh meat. And that's probably why they're trying to get rid of it, right? Because it's good for you and healthy. And so what they got to do is they got to brainwash and trick a bunch of kids and trick a new generation of sheeple into thinking that meat equals bad for the planet, bad for the environment, eating bugs, good for the planet and environment. That's basically what they're trying to do. Oh, got some comments coming in, I guess, about Rusty. Dr. Bass Ackward says rotten meat isn't really a thing, is it? You think I just made that up? Look up high meat online. Just high meat. That's all you have to look up. Right here on YouTube, there's people who make videos. In fact, one of the guys I troll, Gatis Gotis, he's one of those guys that will put liver or chicken or whatever into a jar, and then 6 months later, a year later, he'll like eat it when it looks like pudding. He'll eat it. And yeah, I'm not that hardcore. I have no desire to try that or smell that. But according to him, it makes him feel high, and so he recommends it. But that guy's also full of shit in a lot of ways. So I'm just not that hardcore when it comes to like wanting to try stuff like that. So I will admit, I haven't tried it. It might be awesome. It might make you feel amazing. But I personally just don't want to smell that. And I just don't want to. That's what it comes down to. But yes, it's a thing. Oh, wow. Got a very generous donation coming in from Jonah. It says, here's to keep you and Rusty healthy. Steak time. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, meat is quite expensive these days, so it's not cheap to like buy good meat. So I have to like be on the look for bargains when I can. But thank you, Jonah. I appreciate that. In fact, we'll hook Rusty up with this chunk of fat here on the side. And it'll have some meat attached to it, so we'll bring Rusty back for another appearance since I see people mentioning the dog. Right. Come on. Want some more? Come on. People want an encore of Rusty. Thank you, Jonah. Rusty steak time. Rusty woof dog steak time dog. Steak time. That's New York steak fat. You eating some New York steak fat, Rusty? Rusty eated my New York steak fat. Good dog. Rusty, good dog. Rusty, good dog. He's got furry paws. He's got furry paws. Yes, he does. And he eats a steak fat. He wants to eat the rest of my steak. But Rusty, I want some too. You can't eat all my steak because I want some too, Rusty. I know you want to eat the whole thing. All right, cut you another piece. And you gotta chill out for a while. All right. Hold on, let me get it. Look at his ear. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. You are a sweetheart. Rusty OGFE. That's right. Been with me for many years. It's getting old. Into the breaks. It's Sweet Boy Face Rusty. Star Rose says, what breed of dog? He's a good dog. There was this dog orgy of like 20 really freaking good dogs, and Rusty is the end result of that dog orgy. A 20 dog orgy. All the best dogs were there. Lassie, Beethoven, the Ghost of Old Yeller, all of them were there. All right. Planewalker says it's not much nowadays, but it might help. Every little bit helps, bro. Every little bit helps. I appreciate that. And I always appreciate all of it. I know not everyone can afford to give, so I'm just glad that I still can get people to show up even on this platform where it seems like they're censoring and shadow banning everybody. I'm still glad we can get a little crowd here, still get the truth out there, and keep shit real, because there's not many people keeping it real nowadays. So I'm one of the last OG YouTubers keeping it real and doing a stream like this. You'd be hard pressed to find another human doing a stream like this one. Whew. There you go, pup. There you go, boy. He wants to go out, I can tell. So when we finish up the stream, I'm going to take him out. All right. Rose says, I met Rusty too. Indeed, she did. Rose, one of my mods, a very sweet lady. We hung out for a bit when I was in Reno. I went to go watch Blue Oyster Cult in Reno and stayed for a few nights. And we met up at a little casino and ate some lunch. And she was a really nice lady. It's nice to meet a sub of mine or someone who watches my channel, and them not be like some total weirdo or a shill. It's nice. All right. GF Henning says, even Rusty has enough sense not to eat bugs. He does. If I squash a cockroach with my shoe, he will walk over and smell it. Like, he'll see it and he'll smell it. But then he immediately, like, shoots his butt. It's almost like there's a smell that fires his nose back. So he doesn't even, like, consider eating one of the cockroach carcasses. And so if it's just yummy protein or whatever, it's like, how come my dog doesn't go for it? Like, my dog, has eaten enough meat that, like, if you try and give my dog like a piece of broccoli, he's not going to take it. If you try and give him even like a piece of bread or a milk bone, it's like if he's really hungry, he might take it. But in general, he'll be like, what the hell is this? So my dog has eaten enough meat to know like what he really wants. And so I've seen him, he'll just go right over to a cockroach carcass, sniff it, pull his nose back. So if he won't eat it, I definitely don't want it either. And even if he did eat it, I still don't want it. Amy Alewine says, Jake, what happens when all the bugs are gone? Maybe they keep our real food more abundant. Well, the ecosystem around us is slowly collapsing as far as the animals go. I mean, for instance, like I've seen the reptile population between lizards and snakes. I've seen the reptile population plummet. So I know between what they spray in the air and then our devices and the frequencies that they put out, and then all the different chemicals, weed killers, and stuff like that, the ecosystem is been messed up so bad that there ain't no coming back for it, really. And there are species of like snakes and lizards that I haven't seen for like 20 years. So I used to see, for instance, certain types of snakes, live snakes and dead snakes. I would see dead snakes in the road, and now I don't ever see snakes. So certain types of bugs as well, like I'm sure like there's different bug populations that in areas I'm not thinking about that have probably been wiped out. Butterfly populations, dragonfly populations, what have you. I'm sure a lot of that stuff's all significantly down. I just know in general, Rose with the donation says, how was your trip to the coast? I'll get to that in 1 second. So in general, I'm noticing that nature has taken a hit over the years. And I've noticed like when I was young, I used to see a lot more lizards and snakes and certain types of butterflies and birds and whatnot. And now just a severe reduction, especially with snakes. So haven't seen certain varieties of snakes in like 20 years. And I used to see them all the time, like quite a bit, several every year. So, Rose, I didn't go to the coast. I actually talked myself out of it and went to South Lake Tahoe instead. I haven't been to South Lake Tahoe in like a couple of years. And the last time I went, it was really cold. So I wanted to go to Lake Tahoe and walk around up there and take the dog for a walk. And then I figured I'd hit the little casinos there and do a little advantage gambling. And so I went for a couple days, and it was just okay. The weather was kind of rainy. It was a little weird weather, but gambling was not that great. But Rusty liked it, so I'll probably go to the coast. I don't know, maybe at the end of this month or something. But yeah, I ended up talking myself out of it because Lake Tahoe's closer, and so went up there, and yeah. So I'll probably go to the coast maybe, like I said, end of the month, maybe September. I have to take like a little mini vacation every month. I spoil myself. All right. PKOSB says, I haven't seen as many butterflies. See, when I was a kid, I used to remember there being like these little white ones that I would see all the time. And I would see the monarch ones. And then I could go to certain places, like go up in the mountains and just see a shitload of them. Whereas now it's like very rare do I come across one. to where if I see like one, I'll be like, holy shit, a butterfly. I still see lizards, but not as much and not all the varieties. So I still see these like sagebrush bluebelly type lizards around, like, but I don't see like the horned toads. I don't see these big chuckwallas anymore. I don't see these big collared lizards the same anymore. I used to see all sorts of different lizards, and I used to drive out to see my dad in Utah and Arizona, or fly out there even when I was a kid, and I never, we always saw lizards and snakes. And now when I go out there, I ask my dad, like, when was the last time you saw a snake? And he's like, shit, I don't see snakes anymore. I think the people ran them all over with their cars. So my dad thinks that the people ran them over with the cars. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's it, Dad. I don't think they just got ran over by the cars. And JT said, did I miss anything? Well, if you're just now showing up, then yes, you missed the entire subject. And now we've gone into like a side topic of the animals being exterminated, basically. So we're on a little side topic. So earlier we talked about kids eating bugs in school, and the elites wanting us to eat bugs. And then it transitioned into active bang bang pow pow drills in schools. Then it transitioned into eating meat versus bugs. And then to here. So that's what you missed. And if you missed it, I recommend when stream's over, you go back and watch it. What I would really recommend you go 1.25 speed so that the stream goes a little faster than normal, but not too fast. And you'll actually get through the stream quicker, and you can absorb the information just as easily at 1.25 speed, I bet you. But don't go 1.5 speed, because then I'll be talking too fast. And it'll be too fast. Rose Lewis says, your dad sounds like my dad. LOL, crusty. So, like, here's like a typical response from my dad. Like, well, I just don't see how everyone can be in on it and nobody talks about it. I just don't see how all these conspiracies can be true. Well, you're telling me everybody's in on it and nobody talks about it? Michael Feskin says exactly what my dad says. Yeah, that's a common get out of jail free card. Whenever we get into a subject where like my dad believes something in his paper or whatever, his newspaper, and I tell him it's bullshit, and then I start proving it with either my words, or I can whip out my phone and start showing him stuff that like totally goes against his narrative. He's like, well, if it was just that, maybe I'd listen, but you think that the earth is flat and you think people didn't go to the moon, so I just, you know, if you think everything's a conspiracy, then I just don't want to hear it. Yeah, see, so then it's like, because I think that other stuff is a conspiracy, he can't listen to any new ones. It's a perfect get out of jail free card, Dad. You're telling me everyone in on it? Like, I tried to tell him, like, Dad, the NFL's rigged. I'm like, come on, Dad. Like, let me show you a few of these plays slowed down and show you that the defenders are not playing football anymore. Like, football players are like pro wrestlers. I swear they are tanking games on purpose, Dad. Let me show you. Nobody says anything. No, actually, Dad, there's like 4 different football players who've come out and admitted that the game's rigged. Well, I just don't see how everyone could be in on it. Well, fuck you then, Dad. That's about, and I have to like get to, when we get to that point, like I have to stop myself. It's like there's no saving him. No saving him, no matter what I show him. Doesn't matter. No matter what the subject. I just don't see how everyone could be doing it. I can give him an example of like, here's a player who admits, Dad, the former NFL player, all right? And I can give him, you know, the player admitting that the games are rigged. He'll go, well, I just don't see how Richard says, I'm having a Budweiser. Have a beer with me. Oh, I'm trying to cut alcohol out, and I've had the hardest time getting beer out of my repertoire. So like I'll go a few weeks without drinking, and then I always end up talking myself into having a beer, and it leads to another beer, and then before you know it, like I'll eat mushrooms and drink a damn 12 pack and make myself sick, and then I'll be like, all right, that's it, no more. And then I'll go 2 weeks, and then I'll repeat the behavior. So I have an issue where like I'm a person who's smart enough to not drink hard alcohol and not get super drunk, but I talk myself into drinking like a couple tall cans of piss water beer, and it's a waste of money, and it doesn't make me feel any better. It's like I just drink it because I'm bored. And shit, like the other night, I got free tickets to a Billy Idol show at the casino I go to. Free tickets to see Billy Idol. And I'm like, all right, free tickets, I'll go. And then once I get in there, well, then I have to have a beer in my hand. I can't just stand there. So then I have to have the beer. And so it's a $10 beer once you're inside there. And then I drink that one. Now what? Oh, I need another $10 beer. It's $20 for some piss water. And did it make the show like any better? Like, no, not really. So I'm trying to convince myself to finally give it up. But it's been a tough deal to just cold turkey quit forever and stay quit. I always seem to like say, well, I'm having Mexican food, so I can have one Corona with a lime. See, that's how I talk myself back into drinking beer. So that's one of my last things that I know is bad that I need to get rid of. So I would have a beer with you. And then see, I use like going to concerts as a reason to allow myself. So protecting sobriety can be tough, and being sober can be a pain in the ass, and so it can make getting high seem like a much better state of being, especially in the shitty world that we live in. So I know how it goes, man. So if you can handle just having a few and it doesn't bother you, then you go for it. And I don't want to be on camera smoking and drinking. It just makes it basically like it makes me seem like I'm not like a legitimate source of information. If I'm sitting here smoking weed, drinking beers, the whole stream, getting loopy, then people can say like, well, that guy, he's sitting there getting wasted, so he's not a reliable source of information. And then of course the law enforcement and agents who are watching me are like, "Ooh, look, we got him on camera right now in real time getting inebriated." Right? So I've had to back off on some of my behaviors that I know are destructive. So even though I want to sit here and smoke a bowl with you guys like on camera, I've noticed that like that could be used against me. Shills can use it, agents can use it. So if you guys want to do that stuff, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm just going to tell you the reasons why I don't do it so much anymore. All right. Oh, I still smoke all the time. I'm not going to lie. I still smoke weed all the damn time. But I've cut back on smoking on camera. And so there you go. PKOSB says that's smart, Jake. Well, you live and learn. I've also considered making a name change, actually. And you guys tell me what you think of this. I want your honest opinion here. What do you guys think if I was to change my name and get rid of the asshole? So I'm looking at the name and I'm thinking there's a number of different names I could change it to. And I was thinking that maybe the asshole portion should go. Because when I first named the channel Flat Earth Asshole, I wasn't thinking about the name and the algorithms and stuff like that at the time. It was like damn near 7 years ago when I started this channel. 6 years, 7 years now. So I was Flat Earth Asshole, and then change it to Jake the Asshole. So I'm thinking I could rebrand the channel, and possibly they might not shadow ban me as bad if I don't have asshole in the name, and if I was to be like Jake the Truth or Jake Brings the Truth or something like that. So would that bother you guys? Would you like get mad and unsub if I was Jake the Truth or Jake Brings the Truth or something like that? I haven't decided, but I'm thinking possibly I need to dump the asshole moniker. It just doesn't seem to help the situation to be calling myself asshole, really. And so I think it's one of those things that I could do away with, but whenever I make a big change like that, I'm always like skeptical if like it's going to be a negative deal. Like people are going to be like, no, I love that you're called asshole. All right, we got a donation come in. Said, my bad, bro. I hear you on the beer issue. I was trying to tell everyone back when Obama was first running that it was the final full takeover. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, yet it ends up being true. Hey, and just like I was talking about eating the bugs and how you don't know what you're getting, I feel like the beer companies over the years are giving us cheaper and shittier ingredients. And so I don't think that we're getting, top-notch premium quality beer. And so I think it's like I'm drinking piss water. Every time I drink it, I can't even drink a regular beer. I have to like dump a shitload of lime juice in it or orange juice. I have to like put juice and citrus in it in order to even make it drinkable, because every brand of beer, I don't care what it is, they're all just gross. IPAs are gross. Light beers are gross. All the fucking beers are gross, dude. Like, I don't care how long you've been drinking. Like, you can talk yourself into thinking it's tasty. It's gross. So I started putting lime and orange juice into my beers as I've gotten older and realized that all of them are just gross. So I'm having to like mess with the flavor just to make it drinkable. It's piss water. So, and like I said, these companies, Budweiser, these big, huge, giant corporations, Coors, I'll bet you they're trying to make their shit as cheap as they can so they can make the most money. So their ingredients are getting cheaper and shittier. The alcohol is basically not what it once was, I'm sure. The quality of all food and drink has gone down significantly. If a company can make an extra penny for every can by changing the ingredients just slightly, they'll do it. Or a fraction of a penny. If they can make a fraction of a penny even, because it all comes out to the massive amount of sales they make. If they can change their ingredients, put something shitty in there like corn syrup and shit like that to sell you a cheaper product, then they'll do it. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but what I want to get at is the ingredients in your food are changing over the years and getting more shitty, more poisonous. Thanks for the donation, buddy. I appreciate that, James Richard, for that donation and the one you sent earlier. Jonas says, do you drink champagne? Every once in a while, like on New Year's, if I'm at a place that hands out free champagne or something. So I've went to different parties and get-togethers where people hand out champagne like on New Year's. But generally, I don't just buy and drink champagne, even though I think it's tasty. I like drier champagnes. I don't like sweet. So I don't like super sugary wines or super sugary champagne. So if I am going to have wine or champagne, I like it to be more on the dry or bitter side. But I notice if I drink wine that I get like a super like hardcore like hangover. Like no matter, even if it's good wine, it's like good wine will just get me drunk faster, and I still end up with a hangover. So people are like, don't drink cheap wine, drink this expensive wine. And it's like I'll drink twice as much because it's yummy and get twice as fucked up, and then I'll still have a hangover. So it's just bad news all the way around, man. All right. James says, what about Jake the Truth Bomb? Not bad. See, but maybe having bomb in your name might get you shadow banned. So I feel like if I drop asshole, maybe they'll not shadow ban me as hard. Like maybe they'll recommend some of my videos. Maybe it's a shot in the dark. And if anything, I want you guys to be able to share my content without the asshole name being a factor. You know, I don't want that to be a factor in someone not sharing my stuff, or like being afraid to share my stuff. Like, I want to share this with my dad or my friend, but I don't want them to see that it comes from a guy named Jake the Asshole, because then they'll immediately reject it, possibly. So that's what my thoughts is. I don't want people to immediately reject my content simply because of the name. And I possibly have missed out on hundreds of thousands of subscribers simply because I named the channel that so many years ago. Braxton says, how about hard take Jake or heavy take? Yeah, see, I haven't made up my mind. It doesn't matter as much as the content's going to basically be the same. So I just don't think that the term asshole belongs in there anymore. And so the backup channel is just Jake Gibson, my regular name. And so I could have this channel be like Jake the Truth, whatever, and it'll be the same style of content. I'll just hopefully get, more people to watch and be more accessible to more audiences just by getting rid of the one term, And I don't see any major reason that I need to keep it. Like, no, man, I'm the asshole for life, bro. Oofmatic with a donation said the Jake and Rusty show. No, I feel like it needs to be something along the lines of Jake this, that, or the other, But I don't know about Jake and Rusty's show. Now, I have thought of putting together like a 30-minute style show, like once a week, and have it be like a clip show where I show different clips, go out on the street, and then have comedy clips, impressions, and then mix it all as one show. But then again, I do that kind of anyway when I'm going live, so. All right. Oh, and Javid said, won't unsub, but don't sound like you without it. I think you would get used to it. I feel like you guys would get used to me being Jake brings the truth, or Jake, cold hard truth, or some whatever. So if I figure out something and the content's still the same, I don't see, too much of a negative impact of me not being asshole anymore. Because a lot of times I've got comments from people that say, you're not an asshole, you're a good guy. Like people who like the channel will tell me you're not an asshole. And so I've had people tell me, why did you call yourself that? And it was like, well, I was kind of taking the piss out of the haters that I knew I was going to have. And I was in a group on Facebook many years ago called the Asshole Group, and they kicked me out because I started talking about flat earth. And so I became Flat Earth Asshole. And so the name just doesn't have significance with the asshole term anymore. So those are my thoughts on that. So I haven't made that move yet, I figured I'd just run it by you guys and see what you think. All right, so I want to thank you guys for all those donations that just came in. I appreciate that from all you guys. Make sure I didn't miss any. All right, Seth Sailor says, Jake honest take. Jake the honest take. Or Jake's honest take. Not bad. Jake's take. See, there's something out there and it just might come to me. I haven't figured out exactly what yet, but I just had the thought that perhaps it's time for a brand change as far as just getting rid of the asshole. James says, Jake and James, conspiracies come true. Hard to take Jake. Hard to take Jake. I don't want the audience to consider me a hard ass, like or hard to put up with, right? So I want it to be like something along the lines of like, Jake brings the truth, something like that. That way it's like the name kind of says what I'm out to do, kind of thing. What my mission is. Thanks for the donation again, James. I appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate you trying to think of a name as well as the donation. Another guy says, Jake and Rusty show. We already had someone suggest Jake and Rusty show. Dyslexic says, Jake's hot takes. Mr. Martinez says, now I'm going to be asshole to TikTok. Thank you, sir. I started a TikTok page and then I abandoned it. I had a few videos get community guidelines strikes, and I was annoyed every time I opened the app and they had some girl twerking or whatever, and there are people dancing to horrible music. And so I gave up on the app, but it's in the back of my head that I should try and make a little stupid truth video every day for TikTok and try and get some of the people over there to come over here. But you know what, if people are out there being idiots on TikTok, what are the chances they're going to see my video and get woken up and then come over here? So perhaps it's not really a group of people that I should be trying to influence at all at this point. But I don't know, there's a shitload of people using the app, so I figure if I wanted to get some new eyeballs on my channel, that I could make a couple videos for that. And like I said, I got 2 community strikes on the channel right out of the gate, so I just basically abandoned it. But I am on TikTok. Maybe I'll fire up and do just some bass videos. Just do some slap bass videos on TikTok. Just build a following as a slap bass guy on TikTok. And then pull the old switcheroo on them. Javid says, Jake De Niro. You guys, you're my guys. All right? I got nipples, Greg. See? Here's one of my nipples right here, Greg. Could you milk me? I got nipples, Greg. You guys. There you go. There's my De Niro. Not the best. I need to work on it. I Dreamcatcher says, bake a cake with Jake and a snake. All right, now you're just rhyming words. That's not a serious name. All right, no way in a million years am I going to call that the name of my channel. And you, sir, know better than that. You might as well just go read Cat in the Hat. Bret Hart says, Jake from Boston. Jake from Boston here. They're trying to feed the kids grasshoppers, all right? They're trying to feed the kids crickets. I don't see any crickets. I used to see crickets,
And the crickets disappeared along with the blue skies, all right, because they've caught them all and they're trying to feed them to everybody, all right? And so once the kids start eating crickets, they're going to come home with cricket breath, all right? And I don't know if you've smelled cricket breath. It's disgusting. But at any rate, I digress.
All right. Oh, got some laughing emojis coming in. When in doubt, Richie from Boston. That's right. When in doubt, you just Richie from Boston, bruh.
All right. Just the other day, I saw that Lake Titicaca was being drained by Chinese drones. They were shooting 5G beams at Lake Titicaca, all right? We're going to run out of fresh water. There's going to be a water crisis. You know you need to order as much My Patriot food supply as you possibly can. Or don't. Or don't.
Okay, then I won't.
All right. At any rate, I digress.
All right. Mr. Martinez says, just put your old videos on TikTok. Stop it. People are copying your stuff all the time. Yeah, I can't stop people from copying me and posting my old shit. And I've thought about like just re-uploading all my old shit to TikTok. Shay posted some of my old videos. See, she's been going back and watching my old catalog, and she'll text me and be like, I just watched your video from 6 years ago. It's so good. Mini Moons. Hilarious. I'm like, I know. So she'll post like clips of me on TikTok, and she tells me I should do it. And I guess I should, but there's only so much time in a day, and I can only stand like to do so much. Like, you guys know how it is. Like, I'll go sometimes a week without posting anything. It's because I'm just trying to enjoy what's left of life without constantly having to like upload and edit something onto some crap site other than this one. So it's like I got to upload on this one, I got to upload on BitChute, I got to upload on Facebook, I got to upload on MySpace and Instagram and turdwiener.com. It just never ends, man. Never ends. Geoff Hennig says, is Richie from Boston a real guy, or is he like a fake pro wrestler act? Because you do Richie from Boston better than Richie from Boston. Yeah, I've heard that several times. So I think that he is a low-level shill. He shows up with guys like RV Truth, Russian Vids, and he'll do a stream with Russian Vids, and then he'll show Russian Vids videos and promote other shills. And so, for instance, he's never once brought up Jake the Asshole who does this impression of him. To my knowledge, he's never mentioned that I'm out there doing truth videos and that I do an impression of him. And I'm pretty sure somebody has told him or has pointed him in my direction. So if you hang out with guys like RV Truth, who 100% shill, you know, you look at the company who he hangs out with, I'd say if you hang out with shills, you know, walk, talk, and act like a shill, then probably a shill too. All right, James Richard says, correction, Jake in the rabbit hat instead of rabbit hole. You know, I even think of getting rid of the hat too, because I feel like it gives people a reason to say they don't want to listen to me or don't want to watch. So part of me thinks maybe I should just be regular head Jake and just get rid of the hat. Get rid of the asshole, get rid of the hat. But then, you know, I start to lose like the thing that makes me me in some people's eyes. And so they are going to be like, oh, once he got rid of the hat and stopped calling himself asshole, then he's boring or whatever, even if I kept the exact same format and content. But a part of me thinks I should get rid of the hat Should get rid of the asshole for the betterment of the channel. But we'll see. I'll think about it long and hard before I just make a decision out of nowhere. And I'll let you guys in on the decision-making process so that it's not a shock to the system if I just show up one day as Jake brings the truth with no hat. Star Rose says, I like the hat, looks 90s. Well, I've been wearing it since like 2009 or something, 2009 or 10, with my old band Z Strain. So my old band, we were like this funk rock and roll outfit, 3-piece band, and we would wear funky hats. So I have several different hats, and so we had like big beer mug hats and just different ones that we would wear. And I had like this one like Joker's hat, like the little belt, like the little fucking bill things that hang off. So it was something that my old band did as like a gimmick on stage, and then I just started wearing it sometimes during streams, and then I started wearing it like all the time. And for a while I had the captain's hat, and people were telling me how much they liked my hat, and then I accidentally left the captain's hat in a hotel room back in like 2020, and then I stopped wearing a captain's hat because I left it in a hotel room. And so people were telling me how much they liked the captain's hat for a while, like even random strangers on the street, and even women sometimes like, I like your hat. And so I actually got a lot of positive attention from the captain's hat because I would wear that out in public. So during 2020, I went through this phase where like I didn't give a shit. I don't care how I look. I'm going to grow out my beard, grow out my hair, wear a captain's hat. And I actually got a lot of positive comments. It was strange. James says that hat is dope. Come on, man. Yeah, most people probably don't have a problem with it one way or the other. I'm just thinking of little things that, you know, I can change that might help more people not be turned off immediately. Like if they see Jake the asshole with a funny hat, they might not even want to hear what I have to say because they might think that only an idiot would wear a hat like this and call himself Jake the asshole, and they might not want to watch where maybe if I didn't have this look and I didn't have the asshole in the name, that perhaps, you know, more people would be inclined to watch. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. But then there's a part of me that's like, you know what? Screw them. It's like the people who aren't watching already, screw them. How much do I want to cater to new people when most people are sheeple anyway? But then again, if I don't, then the channel never grows at all. But then again, it's hard to grow when you're shadow banned. But maybe I'm shadow banned because I call myself asshole as well, you know. So just all that shit. Andy says she likes both hats. Well, thank you. Zio says Elmo wants to know why you want to change your name. Elmo wants to know why I want to change my name. See, that doesn't require me doing an Elmo impression because I just stated why I wanted to change my name. So if Elmo's out there listening, then he'll know. See, if you want me to do an Elmo impression, you have to like think of a more clever way to get me to do it, to entice me to do it. You're saying Elmo wants to know why I want to change my name, yet I totally just gave all the reasons why in complete detail. And so me giving my reasons to Elmo in Elmo's voice wouldn't make sense. Understand? So if Elmo wants to know, like, why, then why would I talk in Elmo's voice to tell Elmo? So what you really want me to do is talk in Elmo's voice. So what you need to do is come up with a more clever way to entice me to do that. Come up with a situation where I can do the Elmo impression. Okay, I can see you guys want me to do Elmo, right? All right.
Elmo was in school today, and a man showed up, and he had some bugs. And he asked Elmo if Elmo wanted to eat some bugs, and Elmo said, "No way, Jose. Ew." But then the teacher said that eating bugs will help reverse global warming. So Elmo tried one of the bugs, and Elmo liked the bugs. Now Elmo eats bugs every day. Elmo wants you to eat bugs too. If you eat bugs with Elmo, we can reverse global warming.
There you go. That's something that Sesame Street will probably do, if they haven't already. James says, if you're changing your name to get more fish to bite, there is no such lure. You're probably right. I just feel like if one of you guys wanted to show one of your family members or friends my videos, that perhaps they'll be more inclined to watch it and pay attention if I'm not Jake the asshole. See? And then perhaps even YouTube might like show me to a smidge more people. I know it's like, it's just a thought. And I'm just wondering, like, you know, what bad would it do? Would it be a negative? Would I get less views and would less people like me if I changed it? I don't think so. So, thanks for the donation. And yes, I have considered that thought as well. All right. Got some laughing emojis that came in while I did the Elmo impression. Andy's thanks, Elmo.
You're welcome. Elmo liked the asshole flavored bugs the best.
Ew, Elmo.
Elmo likes eating bugs almost as much as eating asshole.
Ew, Elmo. Captain Underpants says, hey Jake, how's your Macho Man impression lately?
Well, let me tell you something. If you expect the Macho Man to eat bugs, well, then you got another thing coming, because I've been mainlining sweet Jesus juice the whole time, and you're gonna see the Twin Towers come a-crumbling down. Oh yeah. And then I'm gonna step into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
All right. There we go. Got to mix in the Slim Jim at the end. If you're going to do Hulk Hogan or Macho Man, I always, almost like 100% of the time, I start with,
well, let me tell you something, brother.
And our Macho Man, it's,
let me tell you something.
Right? They can't tell you something unless they start out by telling you that they're going to tell you something, brother. And Trump's another one. See, Rose says, does Trump eat bugs? See, he's another one. You almost have to start a Trump impression. At least I do, with the same phrase. All right, let me tell you something right now. In fact, let me make this perfectly clear, all right? When I return as your God and leader and president of the known world, the first thing I'm going to do, all right? First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to load up children's cereal with the finest cockroaches and crickets that you've ever seen, all right? And you know where they're not going to be imported from? You know where they're not going to be imported from? China. They're not going to be imported from China, all right? First thing we're going to do, all right, we're going to go to the Alps, and then we're going to go to the Andes, and we're going to scoop up the finest bugs in the world, the Swiss chalet of bugs, if you will, all right? And we're going to be running the bug scoopers on Trumptricity, all right, which is environmentally friendly, okay? And after that, all right, after you get your 4th round of boosters, all right, I'm going to make sure that everybody has a lifetime supply of cockroach Trump cereal O's. That's right. There you go. Oh shit. Hey, whack the dating site troll. If you see those, whack them immediately. Mods, be on the lookout. YouTube is sending bots. They are sending spam bots in to infiltrate the chats with adult websites and Tinder sites and shit like that. So if you spot what I just spotted, a bot, immediately get rid of them. And you'll notice because it'll say like 6 blah 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 adult nah, nah, nah. And then there'll be a bunch of emojis, a shitload of like all weird emojis and adult websites. So something to look out for. That's new here. I've seen it happen in other chats, and now it has shown up here. I knew it was a matter of time. And so I don't want any algorithms or anyone working at YouTube to think that we support this sort of shit in our chat. So we're going to get rid of them on the spot. All right. So I whacked that one right there. See, they don't like me doing my impressions and entertaining a crowd while dropping truth bombs. So they got to send in the robot spam patrol. Diego says Trump is saving the bugs in the tunnels. Wait, the kids. Yeah, that's it. He's underground right now. Q done told me in his latest post, all right, on the secret website on the interwebs, all right, straight out of Q's mouth, all right. He told me Trump down there right now saving the children and saving all the cockroaches and the crickets, all right? And he's going to save them all and he's going to make them into a powder for when the deep state hits us with the EMP. The deep state is going to shut down electricity and the internet, and Trump's going to provide us all with life-saving cricket powder. Him and JFK and JFK Jr. are all gonna fly with a big old hydrogen blimp over the top of America. And they're gonna sprinkle cockroach powder all across America, make America great again. Okay, Trump tard. Okay, Q tard. Smoke another bowl of hopium. Isn't that what they're telling people nowadays? Isn't that what they want people to think is going on? If you're a Trump supporter, isn't that what you believe? All Trump supporters believe that, right? Andy says, this is so hilarious. Well, thank you. It's a comedy show. It's a comedy routine, all for entertainment purposes only. So therefore, you as the audience enjoying it and thinking it's funny is the goal that I had in mind, making this a complete success. Thank you, Andy, for being here, and thank you all for being here and enjoying this as much as I am enjoying it right now, bringing it to you. PKO species, country boy funny. That's my go-to Trumper voice. My Trump-tard, Q-tard voice is like, I'm going to drive my truck right on down there to that barricade, and I'm going to run my truck into that barricade, and then I'm going to march right in there into that White House, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shoot myself. I'm going to shoot myself in protest right down there in front of that White House down there. That'll teach them all a lesson. Yeah, that's like my Q-tard voice. And again, this is a comedy routine, right? It's all for entertainment purposes only. That's a character that I made up that is fictitiously going to do that. Not me. I'm not saying I would do that. I would never do that. But that character that I just made up, he'll want to do something like that on the world stage in Fantasyland. He sure would. See what I did there? See how I covered my tracks on that one? Salty Siren says, laugh now, but the South might be what saves our ass. Okay, if you believe that, keep smoking that hopium. The South shall rise again. Sure. As if they aren't as brainwashed down there as anywhere else in the country, or world for that matter. Nah, Jake. Down there down south, them people smart. They know way more stuff than them Yankees up north in New York City. New York City! Boy, these bots are relentless. It's weird, I hid them and they're still showing up. Yeah, they don't like me entertaining everybody with the truth. All right. So those of you who came late to the stream, I'll go ahead and tie it back one more time for you. Show you some of this awesome products. So check it out. If you type in cricket powder, let me show you the plethora, right? Cricket powder. Right? Look at all these. Look at how many different brands and options you have for cricket powder, guys. Right? Not just like one or two fringe companies. Bolt insects, crickets by the pound, Memphis barbecue. Oh, some of that Memphis barbecue deep down south. That's right, people down south in Memphis, we like to sprinkle on some of that Memphis barbecue crickets all over our salads. We like to eat tofu and salads, and we like to sprinkle crickets on there. That's what makes it taste yummy. Right? People down south love to eat Memphis barbecue crickets. Look at this shit, man. Like, you guys think I'm like kidding around? Like, how many companies? They're like, I didn't know there were this many. Oh, the nutrition facts. Oh, nutrition facts. Okay. All right. 150 calories, per third cup of roasted crickets. So a third cup of roasted crickets equals 150 calories. Oh, I love it. Okay. Total fat, 5 grams. Saturated fat, 2 grams. Cholesterol, 100 milligrams, 33%. Potassium, 11 grams. Sodium, 130 milligrams. Total carbs, only 3 grams. Oh, so they aren't a great source of carbs, but they're an excellent source of protein, and they got a little bit of fat. Yeah, sounds like a wonderful snack, doesn't it? Get yourself a third cup of ground up roasted crickets, and you get yourself 25 grams of protein right there, and help save the planet from global warming, right? You don't want cows farting, causing global warming. Do you guys know when cows fart, it turns into methane gas, which puts holes in the atmosphere, which helps perpetuate and speed up global warming? Shit gets really hot, icebergs melt, polar bears and penguins like die, and they just end up in the ocean just drowning. And the whole thing's just a mess. So if you want to reverse all that, eat powder bugs. Yeah, eat powder bugs to fix the world's problems. So my thing is like, okay, how do you really know what you're getting, man? So if you order one of these knockoff brands from China or whatever, like, how do you know you're not getting like scooped up cockroaches from the curb of some street, in Beijing or whatever? How do you know you're not getting Beijing street cockroaches and that you're actually getting quality organic crickets? I mean, how do you know? Dave's is 25 grams protein and 150 calories of bugs. Laughed my ass off. Sure, yeah, that seems a bit high. Seems a bit high for some bug powder. Like, you're trying to tell me that protein is the same quality as this? Like, could it even be considered actual protein? Is my body going to consider that protein and this protein the same thing? Like, really? Like, you can call it the same thing, but here's the thing is, like, these ads nutrition facts are misleading, because they'll have, like, coconut oil, for instance, as fat, or avocado as fat, when there's no actual fat in a fucking avocado. There's no fat in a coconut. So they call plant oil fat, and they classify it in the nutrition facts as fat. So you got to throw these nutrition facts completely out, because they lie about what the food is. If you're going to call oil fat and avocado and plants fat, dude, that's bullshit. If you cut open an animal, cut yourself open, you have flesh and you have actual fat. It's not the same thing, the fat that's inside of you or an animal in a coconut or an avocado. It's not the same thing. But they'll list it as fat. So you just got to throw out the nutrition facts right out the window, in my opinion. This is absolute bullshit. And I also mentioned earlier, for those who missed it, that the vitamins and supplements market is billions of dollars of business, right? So there's every sort of vitamin and supplement. You just grind up some random tree leaves and list them as some health food, and idiots are going to buy them. And so how many agencies are out there regulating these supplements and vitamins? Not even just cricket powder. So I'm just talking about vitamins and supplements. So there's like stripped down shitty vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin this, vitamin that, and you're just getting some powder. They'll tell you, this is South American echinacea plant, and if you eat these gel tabs with this ground up leaves, it'll make you feel better. You'll have mental clarity. How do you really know what you're getting? Like I said, they can ground up dog turds and stick them in gel caps, and then you can eat it and think that you're getting the Halushivarian root from Halushavaria. The mountains of Halushavaria, where this root grows and it helps you sleep and feel rejuvenated, and they could give you ground up dog turds, and how would you know? How would you know? Well, Jake, I've eaten ground up dog turds and ground up hallucivaria root, and there's a significant taste difference, so I think I would know the difference. Okay then, eat it. Rose says, what does PETA think? Yeah, you don't hear them making a ruckus about grinding up all these poor bugs, killing all these poor bugs. So the PETA people will tell you, you know, farming the cows is bad, and cows are bad for the environment. Mass farming of meat is bad, and they'll probably promote this. See, so you don't have these environmentalists like saying eating all these bugs is wrong, you're killing all these bugs, it's bullshit. See, I don't see the vegans like stepping up for this bug shit the same way they want to like step up for cows and pigs and chickens. So it's funny the way a vegan will be like, I love animals, I love cows and pigs and chickens, and I just would never want to harm them. It's like, well, what about these ugly, nasty bugs? It's like, screw the bugs. They don't really care. They'll say they do, but they don't. I don't see any vegans in front of these cricket farms, you know, saying, you're murderers, I hate you, I'm going to get your business shut down, you fucking cricket murderers. I don't see any vegans stepping up. Where are you, vegans? If you're vegan, then why aren't you outraged that they're murdering all these crickets by the tens of billions? Literally, look at all these bags of cricket. That's like 10 billion crickets worth that we're seeing on the screen, right? Literally 10 billion crickets worth, right? All these bags in the world, all these ones. Look, it just goes and goes and goes, man. Just goes and goes and goes. Think I'm kidding? That they want you to eat bugs? You think there's like one company or two companies? Some fringe shit? No. Cricket powder galore. Andy says PETA doesn't care about bugs. Obviously not. You don't hear much about any environmentalists sticking up for the bugs. It's always the cows and the pigs. Simply put, Charles Phillips says it best, man. Vegans are retards. There you go. And that's his opinion, all right? Doesn't necessarily reflect the opinion of Jake the Asshole. But in this scenario, it does. That totally is my opinion. We have the same opinion. Good times. Truth Free says McDonald's, BK Taco Bell, and now Mighty Taco sell lab meat. Yeah, it's another thing that you won't see me eating or ever trying in the future is like Bill Gates grown lab meat, you know, like, oh, what we can do is take like the cells of a cow and then we can like multiply the cells in a lab and actually grow a piece of flesh without having to kill or murder any animals or farm any of the animals. So we can just take like a little cell from a pig or a cow and then just artificially in a lab just grow this piece of flesh. Doesn't that sound appetizing to you? Don't you want to like be the first group of people that like eats that? Not me. I don't want to be one of the people who eats that. That sounds like Frankenstein shit to me. No way does that sound good for your body. Or good for the earth. Like I said, this whole notion of cows being bad for the earth is bullshit. Cows want to eat grass. If you leave a cow to its own devices, it wants to eat grass. And the grass grows naturally. And a cow can eat the tops of the grass and not kill the entire grass because a cow won't like pull out the grass by the root. So a cow will eat the grass, and the cows will take a shit, and then you move the cows to the next part where the grass hasn't been eaten. You have to move the cows as part of it, and then the grass where the cows just shit will grow back fast. It'll, like, the tops of the grass get eaten, the cows shit, nutrients, nitrogen goes into the ground, grass regenerates and comes right back. And so you can just keep moving the cows around and having them eat grass, which is what they're supposed to eat. That's what they like. That's what they want. I swear a cow wants grass more than corn. A cow loves grass. That's like a cow's favorite thing. And so if you properly care for the cows and move them around, have them eat grass, we would have nothing but awesome, amazing meat. But instead, they herd the cows into these pens, these mud shit pits, and then they feed them hay or corn, GMO corn, to save money. And the whole process is shitty. So the way that they have the cows in these pens and the feeding them the GMO corn, that whole process does suck. I'm totally against it. So if they were to raise all cattle by the same format, like I told you, have them eat grass like they're supposed to, natural growing grass, move them around. And there's tons and tons of land. Don't let them fool you and think that there's a shortage of like space for the cows. There's so much unused land. If I showed you how much land here in California is being dedicated to almonds and being dedicated to corn, the cows don't need the corn, and we don't need the almonds. So if we got rid of all the fucking shitty crops that they're growing, like the horrible crops, and we got rid of that shit, and we just let some cows have the area and move them around properly like the cowboys used to, right? So if you look at the best beef in the world, it's what? Grass-fed organic beef, right? Wild range grass-fed beef. It's the top quality. And so who's going to eat that meat? The people who can afford it and who know that it's healthy and good for you. So the people who are going to eat the most awesome top quality meat are more likely to be on the elite side or closer to the elite side. And it looks like they want all of the slaves to eat bugs and plants, right? Bugs and plants. Very obvious. Very obvious. Lassie Eller says, well, corn is bad for most animals and all people. Oh, for sure. You know, all these plants that we're told are good for us are bad for us. And so broccoli, for instance, is a Frankenstein plant that doesn't exist out in nature. You can't go find broccoli growing anywhere. And we're told that that's a healthy thing and you should eat it. Well, guess what? You can never eat broccoli again. And I swear you won't miss it and you won't feel unhealthy. You're not going to like progressively get worse because you stopped eating broccoli. So when you find out that they have toxins in these vegetables, and even when you cook them, you don't fully destroy all the toxins. And at best, you're just basically getting mush. Once you like cook the shit out of vegetables, you're basically just getting non-nutrition void mush. You're not getting anything of any substance. And so if you leave the vegetables raw, there's actually chemicals, pesticides, and toxins inside these plants. They were never really meant to be eaten by men because they don't even exist out in fucking nature. So go out in nature and try to find bell pepper or eggplant or broccoli or any of that shit that they sell. You won't find it. What are you going to find? You're going to find natural growing trees and plants that have defenses and poisons. So for instance, would you go out and start eating pine needles? Just go eat pine needles. It's a plant. It's natural. It's green. Oh, you don't want to eat pine needles? Well, why not? How about you just go outside and grab grass from your lawn? Go outside, grab grass from your lawn, and eat it. Don't cook it. Don't put any ranch dressing on it. Just eat that grass. Oh, you don't want to do that? Well, why not? How about you go outside and grab random leaves off any random tree and put them in a bowl and then eat them like a salad? Oh, you don't want to do that? You only want to eat that stuff at the grocery store? Funny, because out in nature, there are no fucking plants like at the grocery store. Well, how can that be, Jake? Where did these plants come from? They were manipulated over many, many years and no longer resemble the wild plant that once existed. So there might be something called broccoli from many years ago, but it ain't the thing that they sell in grocery stores now. What they're selling you now that they call broccoli, that they call a bell pepper, is something that is completely unnatural, that does not exist in nature, and you'll never in a million years be hiking in the woods and be like, ooh, broccoli! Ooh, a bell pepper! Go fucking find it. In fact, I was thinking of making a comedy skit where, like, I hike around and find all this crap from a supermarket and make a salad. It's gonna go walking out in the forest and, oh, look, here's some iceberg lettuce. Here's some spinach. Kale. Yum, 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 kale. So natural. So good for you. Yeah. Go find it. Go find it, not in your supermarket. But there's so much propaganda. They'll convince you that green is natural, therefore green good. Eat green shit, like kale, even though it will taste disgusting unless you cover it with ranch dressing. You should eat it because it's good for you. And then they'll come up with these nutrition facts, and they'll try and act like it's this healthy thing that's better than meat. Yeah, right. Shove it up your ass 1,000,000 times over. Don't want to hear it. So I've cut vegetables out of my diet. And you know how much it hurts me? None. The only vegetables I eat is like some olives on my pizza, or like, some grilled onions on my burger. If I get an In-N-Out burger, I'll get it with grilled onions. But I don't even want the shitty tomato. No shitty tomato. Now, I like tomato sauce, but I don't like fresh tomato. So go figure. But it's not good for you. So I don't think that there's really any healthy vegetables. I think they're all garbage. But there's tons of propaganda that would tell you what I just said is crazy. That vegetables are freaking wonderful. And there's people out there that'll tell you that you should eat nothing but fruits and vegetables. Okay. I don't recommend that. Truth Free says tomatoes in moderation. Yeah, it's a nightshade and it can cause inflammation and stuff. So it's another thing that's doesn't naturally grow. You know what I mean? Like, you don't find like tomatoes just like naturally taking over any area. But when you plant your store-bought tomato seeds, like you'll have this big, gnarly, weird-smelling plant that produces all these crazy fruits. And there's something unnatural about all these plants when you really think about it. If you think about what you're going to find if you go to any forest or any desert or any tropical area or any jungle, and you think about what sorts of foods you're going to find, a lot of that shit in the supermarket, it doesn't exist anywhere except in the supermarket or the fields where they specifically grow it. And they specifically have to kill all the bugs and all the animals in order to grow that shit. Because it doesn't have any defenses. So these plants, like in the supermarket, don't have natural defenses like thorns and poisons, right? Or they have less poison than the stuff out in nature, like out on random trees and stuff. God, I was going to make a point and I totally just slipped my mind. Anyway, so store-bought shit is completely unnatural and you won't find it out in nature. Like I said, oh yeah, that's the point I was going to make. The animals, let's say, will find it and eat it. The bugs will find it and eat it. A bug will key in on these plants. If you try and grow a garden of these GMO crops, you'll find that snails and bugs will start eating your crops. And then you have to spray them with chemicals and pesticides and shit. And so if you think you're going to grow a garden at home and you think you're going to end up with all this awesome produce and you're going to be healthy, think again. Think again. You're growing some unnatural shit that you're either going to have to spray with chemicals or the bugs are going to fucking eat it. I tried growing bell peppers, and snails ate holes in the bell peppers, and the bell peppers would rot on the vine. Now, when you finally got one bell pepper that didn't get eaten by snails, because you had to poison all the snails and kill all the snails, then you finally get to eat one bell pepper, and it's like, was it all worth it for this little shitty tiny bell pepper that didn't get near as big as the one that the store has? So I tried to grow shit in a garden, and I realized that you don't get as big of produce as the stuff in the supermarket, and even the shit that you grow at home still isn't healthy. You might think it is just because you grew it, but that doesn't fucking mean that there's anything healthy in that vegetable to begin with. So I had to learn all that the hard way. I used to grow stuff. I used to enjoy growing stuff. I still like the process of watching a plant grow. But I learned that trying to grow healthy stuff yourself, complete scam. It's complete bullshit. And I know a lot of people who've wasted a lot of time and energy and look worse because of eating that shit. Jonna says, without getting too personal, what is your typical diet like throughout the day? You look very healthy. See, I mentioned earlier, and thank you for the donation again, that I will eat all sorts of different stuff. So I don't always make the most healthiest of choices. Like I said, sometimes I'm out traveling, and when I'm traveling or out and about, I'll buy a burger from In-N-Out Burger or a chicken sandwich, you know what I mean, from a random place, or eat Mexican food. I like Mexican food a lot, even though it's not the healthiest of foods. I just like the taste of Mexican food. And I like the taste of all sorts of different cooked meats. So I mix it up. I don't have a set thing that I eat in a day. I truly just eat mostly what I want, but I try to limit the amount of garbage that I put in my system. So I try not to eat a bunch of sugary junk food. I'll rarely ever drink a soda. So it's a hard answer for me to give you. So basically, today, I haven't had a raw steak in a few weeks, maybe even almost a month. So I made a specific point to go get one and cut it up and eat one today and just get raw fat in my system, because I haven't eaten one in a few weeks. But I don't eat raw meat every single day for every meal. So I'm not super hardcore with my diet. But I have cut vegetables out completely. So I don't ever eat vegetables anymore. The only sort of carb vegetable I'll eat, I don't even know if you call it a vegetable. I like potatoes still. So I still like to eat fries, fried potatoes, baked potatoes. Potatoes are tasty to me. They're not the healthiest by any means, but I like the flavor, and they go good with meat. So having a baked potato full of a bunch of butter and sour cream to go with a steak, be it raw or barbecue. Like I said, this is a long, drawn-out answer. So basically, I don't have a set diet that I stick to, but I do consume a shitload of raw milk. So I drink a gallon every 2 days. So I drink a half gallon of raw milk every day, and it's expensive. So I go to the farm and I get the raw milk, and I drink this stuff every day. And if I don't drink milk for a few days and I only have water or whatever else, then my body will send me cravings. I'll get cravings specifically for milk. So that's one thing I definitely have in my diet damn near all the time. And see, some people will argue and say, don't drink milk, it's bad for you. But I like it. I think it tastes awesome. It's the real deal. Got one of these porn bots again. How are they getting through when I blocked them? It's so weird. I blocked it. I put hide user on this channel, and somehow they're still getting through. I don't understand how that works. I'm going to unhide user. I'm going to go to that channel and then block them. Maybe that'll do it. So see what I hid this channel, and they somehow keep getting around it. So now I'm going to block them. Block user. There. So if they keep coming back with this exact name, even though I block them, then we'll know that YouTube is complicit in these bots, which I think they are. I think YouTube is totally complicit in allowing these bots to take over chats. I think if they wanted to stop it, they could. JT says, make cheese out of goat milk. The goat milk's twice as expensive. So the goat milk is $5 for a half gallon. So $10 a gallon. And I pay $6 a gallon for the cow milk. So the goat milk has a little tiny zing to it, a slight zing. And it's actually, I really like it. I used to like try and compare them, and I didn't notice the difference that much when I would like try the goat milk. But this last time I tried side-by-side comparison, and I did notice that the goat milk has a slight zing. And so I guess when you make the cheese with it is when that zestiness really shines through. And that's why you get that pungent flavor from goat cheese that you don't get with regular cow's cheese. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate that. Corey D says, if I drink milk, it has to be cold. Yeah, I am the same way. And so I have my little mini fridge set to where it basically will freeze the milk if I leave it in there too long. So I like it on the fringe of freezing. I like it super cold as well. And a lot of you guys, I'm sure, live in areas where you can't get raw milk or it's harder to get. But you definitely taste the difference between some bottom of the barrel brand store-bought pasteurized milk. If you get the raw, real deal, like I drank, you'll notice a difference in the first sip you take. Especially if you like have the cream all on top and you don't mix it up and you just take a drink of like straight up raw cream. It's like drinking ice cream. It's like ridiculous. Penguinati says, I like it straight from the tit. I was with one girl one time who allowed me to try breast milk, human breast milk, as an adult. So when I was a baby, I drank it, but I don't remember what it tastes like. So as an adult, I was with one single mom who allowed me to partake, and it was surprisingly sugary. I wasn't expecting it to be sweet. It had like the flavor like if you added your own sugar to cereal, like when you were a kid and you ate like cornflakes, but you like poured your own sugar on top, and then at the end, like you were left with that sugary milk. It was like that. It tasted like sugary milk. PJ CNet says, I've done it as an adult, very sweet. Yeah, I was kind of shocked. Trixie Andrews says, almond, soya, all those milks I find too sweet tasting. It's not milk. See, I said this earlier. Almonds don't have titties, therefore almonds can't be milk. You can crush up almonds into a powder and mix it with water. And it might be white. It might look like milk, but it ain't fucking milk, man. Nor can you make milk out of soy. And so any sort of creamer or replacement that they've made out of oats or soy or almonds, whatever, is toxic, poisonous bullshit that is made to emulate wonderful, amazing cream. So when you have real cream that settles at the top of your gallon of raw milk and then you mix that with your coffee, an entirely different experience than using some oat almond water and then thinking that that's the same thing. So I only mix cow's milk and cream into my coffee, and so that's what I'm used to. And yeah, I'll reject the almond shit. I know it's poison. Can't cross Antarctica says nut water. Yeah, pretty much some nut water. Nut water, nut water. Now, PJC Net says even coconut milk isn't really milk. No, it's definitely not. It's coconut juice. That's what it is. Just because it's like slightly milky looking. This is coconut water, coconut juice. All right? I agree. JT says baby formula is uber expensive. Yeah, that's some scary shit right there. Some lab-made powder milk. Diego says dolphin milk. You know, I'd like to try it. Faith says tomatoes are actually toxic and it's sad because I love them. See, I don't like fresh tomato, but I like when they're cooked into a sauce. So if you make like a zesty marinara with roasted garlic, then I'm like, ooh, yum. Even though I know it's not good for you. I love sauces. Or if you make a homemade barbecue sauce with a tomato base or like some sort of tomato based spaghetti pasta, I love that flavor. But if you put like a slice of tomato on my burger, I'll reach in and pull it off and chuck it. I don't like the jelly texture of a tomato, and the flavor is weird. But when you cook the shit out of them into a sauce and then add like spices and garlic, then suddenly I think it's tasty as fuck. I'm the same way, like I'm almost the same way with onions. It's like if I'm gonna have fresh onion, I can only handle like a little bit of fresh onion. But if you like saute them until they're brown and sugary, then I love them. It's weird how that works. But I don't recommend you eat a ton of tomatoes or onions. Neither of them are good for you. But they are tasty, so in moderation, enjoy what you will. Dragonfire says, I hate all seafood. I used to like tuna. An ex made tuna casserole and the smell made me puke. I no longer like tuna now. Well, that's because I'll bet you she used canned tuna. And canned tuna is nothing like a tuna steak. So tuna is like the most popular fish in the world, and if you eat a fresh tuna steak, you're going to pay out your ass. So if you have like a restaurant like cook you up a proper tuna steak, or you like buy a fresh tuna steak and roast it up yourself, season it up, roast it up yourself, it's awesome. It's an amazing piece of fish. But if you get a can of bumblebee tuna or whatever, then you're going to get this like smelly mush that has a smell and consistency that can be repulsive. And over time, like, you can sour your appetite for tuna by eating canned tuna when it's like nothing like eating an actual tuna steak. If you have a lightly seared tuna steak and leave it like a bit raw in the middle and have it seasoned up with some good spices, it's a fabulous piece of fish. And then sushi. A lot of sushi restaurants have tuna rolls, a good sushi place that serves good cuts of fish. Tuna is awesome. So don't give up on tuna. Just give up on tuna in a can. And I'll bet you the girlfriend or whoever you said, your ex, who made the casserole, I'll bet you she cooked canned tuna. If you cook canned tuna, you're going to put a nasty smell into your house and into the world. And anyone who smells that's gross. Cooking canned tuna results in a nasty fucking smell that nobody likes. Maybe cats might like it. But if you were to get a tuna steak fresh and then sear that up in a little bit of butter and garlic, oh, way different. Completely different world. So there you go. That's my take on tuna. Oh, see, I didn't know I was going to get into talking about, how I recommend you cook tuna in this stream, but you just never know what we're going to get into. We started off with eating bugs, and now we're talking about sauteing tuna. All right, y'all. So, I'll go ahead and let you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday night. I know it's getting late out there for you guys over on the East Coast. So I'll go ahead and wrap up the stream. We've been on here for over 2 hours. Time flies when you're having fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream as much as I have. Hope you learned something new or had a few laughs. And I guess I will try and come up with another stream maybe in a few more days. I'll see what sort of subjects I can dig up for next time, and I'll fire up another stream probably in another few days. So until then, thank you to all my mods and all the people who are here in chat and everyone who donated and everyone who participated and all that fun stuff. I'll go back and watch the replay, and I will read every single chat to see who was here and who said what. I always do. And so don't feel like if I didn't read your chat that I missed it. I'll go back and read all of them. And so I want to thank you guys one more time for being here, and hit the thumbs up on your way out if you haven't already. And until next time, this is Jake the Asshole, and you guys have a wonderful night. I am out of here. Peace.